interested in it. Somebody told me that you were baptized in a river.
Yeah, and not a river. You see that picture there?
Yeah, let me just get the camera, and can I bring the camera over to the picture?
Sure. I was baptized in a swamp, what we called it.
A swamp?
Yeah.
So this
It
picture...
wasn't a really river.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So tell me, have you been to other baptisms of people being baptized in rivers?
No.
Or swamps? No? They don't still do that, do they? No. No. And you don't remember it. I mean, did you have to be old enough to walk into the water yourself, or were you carried in?
No, we walked just like you see. The
So you remember?
There. Yeah.
How old were you?
I was about 9 or 10, somewhere between that age. Yeah.
And what religion were you baptized
Baptist.
into? The Baptist.
Yeah.
So Baptists always use a river baptism.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, you know, and people said, wasn't you all afraid, you know, it might be a snake or something, but I don't know, and nothing ever happened. You know, to tell you the truth, I didn't go to doctors until I came here.
Really?
Yeah.
So you've had a healthy life?
Yeah, well, you know, it was sort of healthy because I used to think that my grandmother could go out and just pull a leaf off any tree and boil it with some water and put a little sugar in it and give it to you no matter what your problem was. It left. You know, that's the way I used to know. My mother, when we used to have a cold, and oh God, if you ever would see the light come on in the bedroom,
yeah,
I knew what was coming, and I used to almost smother myself to death because I didn't want it. She would come in with a teaspoon of sugar, and she put, I think she said about 3 or 4 drops of kerosene in it. And we had to eat that spoon of sugar.
How did that taste?
Terrible.
Terrible.
But we didn't cough anymore.
Really? Kerosene and sugar?
Yeah.
Now see,
I mean, that was, I guess they really, I was talking to a lady that I used to work for, and we used to have lunch together days, and I would be telling her things about this. So she got so interested, and she says to me, she was going to Manhattanville College in New York, and she said to me, she said, Ernastine, she said, do you think if I would go with you to North Carolina once, could I get some of the old ladies to talk with me and tell me how this came up to be? And so I said, yeah, I think they'll talk to you. So my husband and I, we drove down, and she and her sister flew down. So they stayed at the hotel. In the morning, we would go get them from the hotel, and we'd take them around through the country, and we showed them how we slaughtered hogs and, you know, cured the meat, and how we harvest tobacco. That was the worst crop of it all.
why was tobacco the worst crop?
One
Messy?
thing,
Was it
yeah,
messy?
messy, and the weather never got too bad to work into tobacco. You had to go in when it was growing up, you have to chop it, keep the weeds out of it. Then it will grow up like flowers come up in the top.
Right.
So you had to go out and you had to break those out, and then little shoots would come out, you know, near the leaf, and you had to go back in.
So it was like pruning it to keep the growth
yes,
in it.
and it was always something to do in tobacco.
It's a lot of
So
work.
then once it grew up tall and it started turning sort of yellow, then the men go out in the field and they break the yellow leaves off and they bring it up to the barn, and we had to string it on sticks,
Yeah.
you know, and then hang it in the barn and cure it out. And then when they finished, it was about a 2-month job.
Oh, that's a long time.
And then they would hang it in the barn, and they had a furnace run through that way. They had to use wood because my father had to go in the woods and cut down trees, and they let them dry out, and they would make fire in a furnace of the barn that would cure the tobacco out.
Oh, so you had to dry it out and smoke it like that.
Had to dry it out, and then after drying it out, we had to go through the process, but that was after you get it all out of the field and get it all dried out.
Yeah.
Then we have to go through a process, what they call grading it. So you put the lightest looking here in the pile, the next grade, and then the leaves that were dark brown.
So was that like good, not so good, bad?
Yeah.
I see.
And after that, you have to gather much of your cut in your hand, and then fold on one of the other leaves and wrap around it. Make it in bundles. Then you make it in bundles. You had sticks about this long, and we had a, so they put the stick on, kind of like the quilt we're doing over
Right.
there.
Yeah.
And you had to, separate them into half and put them on the stick.
Yeah.
Then after that, you take it off, and we had a presser, they call it. My father-in-law made it, and it's like a wide piece of wood, about wide as this table.
Right.
And then it had a piece on top, but then the lid, the top piece was made like a lid and with a handle to it. So you had to pull
Lower
it
down and
down,
flatten the whole thing.
yeah, and press it.
I understand.
Then my father-in-law was take it to the warehouse, the tobacco warehouse, where they sell it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the season, after you sell it all,
Yeah.
then the white man figure out how much the seed costs for the tobacco, the fertilizer, and the this and the that. And then they figure out how much they what they call sharecropping, because my father was entitled to half of it.
Right.
And so then he figured, what his part was for the tobacco and what my father's part was. And it also was the same thing for peanuts.
So yeah, the white farmer was always wheeling and dealing for nickels.
Yeah. Now, when we worked in the white man had a daughter for the same age as I was.
Yeah.
And tobacco were the only crop that we worked in together.
Okay.
The other crops, the white man hired somebody to do his, and we had to go in the field, pick the cotton, and get the peanuts up out of the ground, pull them up out of the ground, shake the dirt out, and stack them and stay in the field till they dry.
Yeah.
And all such of that. But when I worked in the white man tobacco, he paid me half price. When his daughter worked in my daddy and the other man that lived on the farm, that tobacco, she got paid the same thing the grown-ups did.
Why was that? Because you were an African-American young girl, and you were given half of what the white girl was earning.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it was bad. And after I started going to high school, I kept telling my father try to show him into how the man was cheating him. And my father kept saying, oh, well, just let it go. And so, when I was in grade school, we had to walk about 3 miles to school, no matter how the weather was. And we carried lunch, and I had a little, tiny like candy or something come in. We carried my mother would make biscuits, like the kids from town and the white kids, they use bread,
Right.
Never bread like that.
Yeah.
but we always had biscuits.
Biscuits, homemade biscuits.